Hi students, I am going to teach you Digital System Design subject in this semester. Today we are going to discuss the overview of Digital System Design subject and syllabus. Before going to the syllabus, we will see what are the objectives and outcomes of this subject. Coming to the objectives, to understand number representation in digital electronic circuits and able to convert between different representations. That is, we are going to study different number systems like decimal, binary, octal, and hexadecimal, and we also learn how to convert one number system to other number system. Second objective is to learn basic techniques and fundamental concepts used in design of digital systems. That is, we are going to study basic theorems like De Morgan's theorem and fundamental concepts like K-map method, which are used for designing digital systems. Coming to the third objective, to implement logical operations using combinational logic circuits. Here we implement logical operations using combinational circuits like full adder, subtractor, multiplexer, comparators, and so on. Coming to the fourth point, to design combinational logic circuits and sequential logic circuits. That is, we are going to design combinational logic circuits and sequential logic circuits like serial adder, sequence detector, parity bit generator. Coming to the fifth objective, to study about logic families. We have different logic families like RTL, TTL, DTL, which we are going to read in our fifth unit. Now we will see what are the outcomes of this subject. First outcome is express numeric information in different forms. Upon completion of first unit, you will be familiar to express numeric information in different forms like binary, decimal, octal, hexadecimal. Second outcome is simplify Boolean expression using theorems and minimize combinational functions. Upon completion of second unit, you will be simplifying Boolean expression using different theorems and also minimize combinational functions. Third outcome is design and analyze small combinational circuits and to use standard combinational functions to build larger, more complex circuits. After completion of third unit, you can design small combinational circuits by your own, which are used to build complex circuits. Coming to the fourth outcome, design and analyze small sequential circuits and to use standard sequential functions to build larger, more complex circuits. Here, you are going to learn how to design sequential circuits like registers, counters, etc. Now we will see the overview of syllabus. Coming to the Unit 1, Unit 1 compromises two parts, number system and Boolean algebra. Unit 1 comprises two parts, number systems and Boolean algebra. First part is number systems. In number systems, you are going to study decimal, binary, octal and hexadecimal number system. You are going to study decimal, binary, octal and hexadecimal number system. And along with this, you are going to study decimal to any other number system conversion or any other number system to decimal conversion, octal to hexadecimal conversion and vice versa, binary to octal conversion and so on. That means you are going to study different number systems and their conversions in this part. In this first part, you are going to study different codes also. Those are parity check and Hamming code. Here you are going to study parity check code and also Hamming code. Parity bits are used as simplest form of error detecting codes. These are used as simplest form of error detecting codes. Generally apply to smallest units of communication protocol, typically of 8 bits. Whereas Hamming codes allows detection and correction of errors. Whereas these Hamming codes allows detection as well as correction of errors. Hamming codes are used in many applications. These Hamming codes are used in many applications where such errors are common, like satellite communication hardware. Why we require this number system conversion? Why? Because, for example, you are having decimal number system. For example, you are having decimal number system, but your system uses binary or data transferred as binary. Whatever it is, your system uses binary or data transferred as binary, but you can't enter binary data every time. That is, if you want to enter 2, you can't convert every time to binary and send directly. Okay, let I make more clear or simple for you. For example, you are booking a ticket. For example, you are booking a ticket. You enter number 2 or 3 for number of seats in the number of seats column. But system will convert that decimal into binary 2 and process is continued. That system will convert that number of 2 or 3 into binary 2 or binary 3 and process is continued. This is one of the examples why we require conversions. This is one of the examples why we require these conversions. I think it is clear. Yes? Yes, it is clear now. Coming to the second part of first unit, we learn Boolean algebra here. We learn Boolean algebra here. That is, we learn basic theorems and properties to reduce complexity of circuit. We learn these basic theorems and properties to reduce complexity of circuit, which in turn reduces cost of circuit. Next topic is logic gates. Here we are going to learn 3 basic gates: AND gate, OR gate, NOT gate. 3 basic gates are AND gate, OR gate, NOT gate. And we have universal gates which are NAND and NOR gates. These are called universal gates because we can realize any other gates using these gates, NAND gates and NOR gates. Now we will see application of one of the logic gates used in our daily life. Remaining gates we will see when we discuss our unit 1 in brief. Now we will see one of the application of logic gates which we use in our daily life. Now I am taking OR logic gate. I am taking OR logic gate. A very simple example is three-way light switch. A very simple example is three-way light switch. You can turn on light at one end of the hall or at the other end of the hall. You have two options. You can turn on or off the light at one end of the hall or at the other end of the hall. That means you have two switches. Anything you can do that gives you more than one choice here. Some of the examples of number systems and logic gates I have shown in the slide. That is ticket booking and OR gate example. And the second example of OR gate is one person eating some of the dishes. So if we eat any one of the dish, our stomach will be filled. That is the example of OR gate. Next, we move on to second unit. Unit 2. Coming to Unit 2, here also we have two parts. First one is minimization of Boolean functions. Second part is combinational logic circuits. In first part, we minimize Boolean functions using K-map method, also called as corner map method, and other method is tabular method. We have two methods here, K-map method and tabular method, by which we can reduce the complexity of circuit. If complexity of circuit is reduced, then which will in turn reduces the cost of the circuit. K-map method is used up to 5 variables, whereas tabular method has the advantage over K-map when a large number of inputs are present. When a large number of inputs are present, we go for tabular method. That is the advantage of tabular method over K-map. Next part is combinational logic circuits, in which we learn full adder, subtractor, multiplexer, demultiplexer, comparators, encoders and decoders. Applications of full adder is used in ALU, that is arithmetic logic unit. I think in your school days you have learned ALU, which is a part of a computer processor or CPU, which performs all arithmetic computations such as addition, multiplication and all comparison operations. Next, multiplexers. We move on to multiplexers. Multiplexers are used in data communication, waveform generator circuit and data selection. One example of an analog multiplexer is source control on a home stereo unit that allows the user to choose between audio from a compact disc, that is CD, DVD player and cable television line, which is displayed on the screen, which is home stereo unit is displayed on your screen. Next, encoders and decoders. These encoders and decoders are used in secure communication. These are used in secure communication. Let me explain with an example. Consider battlefield scenario. There, commanders have to deal with high digital data exchange. Each signal and information is important and data loss cannot be afforded. But what happens in real time is due to noise and disturbance in media, there are chances of losing actual content of data or it may get corrupted. There are chances of losing actual content of data or it may get corrupted. In order to overcome that, we use few powerful encoding and decoding techniques. Another example is QR code. Up to 7089 characters can be encoded in a symbol. Up to 7089 characters are encoded in a symbol. Once we scan QR code for bill payment, it is transmitted via wireless or wired media. But during transmission, your picture may be not clear, that is it may be blurred. But At decoding or after decoding, it got capability to detect error and correct it. It has a capability to detect error and correct it, and our bill payment is done. Once QR code is decoded, our bill payment is done. This is the example of our decoder and encoder. So, these are the topics of our Unit 2. Next, we move on to Unit 3. Unit 3 compromises sequential circuit fundamentals and registers and counters. In sequential circuits, you will study flip-flops and conversion from one to another flip-flop. Flip-flops are fundamental building blocks of digital electronic systems used in computers, communication, and many other systems. Main real-life applications of flip-flops are counter display at banks, token counters, microwave oven timer. You are going to learn SR flip-flop, D flip-flop, T flip-flop, JK flip-flop, JK master slave flip-flop, and conversions from one flip-flop to other flip-flop like SR to D, D to JK, so on. Next part is registers and counters. In this part, we are going to see operation and applications of shift registers. Register is used to store binary data. Shift register is used as parallel to serial converter, which converts parallel data into serial data, and serial to parallel converter. Next topic is design and operation of counters. In these counters, you are going to learn ring counter and twisted ring counter. Ring counter are used to count data in continuous loop frequency divider circuits. Twisted ring counter are used as square wave generator and so on. Counters are used to count number of pulses. For example, up counters are used in EVMs, that is electronic voting machines, to count number of votes which I have shown on the slide. Next, we move on to fourth unit. You are going to learn sequential machines. In that, you will learn finite state machines, FSMs. FSM can be used to model problem in many fields including mathematics, AI, that is artificial intelligence, games, and so on. The world is filled with state machines. You can see them everywhere, but perhaps you did not think of them as much. After this class, I am sure you will point out objects in real world, saying to your friend that is a state machine. The most popular and commonly found example is traffic lights. At any point in time, a traffic semaphore has a defined states. Typically, it is either has green light on and other two lights off, has red light on and other two lights off, or has yellow light on and other two lights off. Each of these three scenarios is called states. Our traffic lights state machine is said to be finite because we have a finite number of states. Some more examples of FSM are a vending machine, which we see in airports, an elevator in malls, railway stations, I think we have seen, a self-driving car system. After this, we learn synthesis of synchronous sequential circuits. Next, Mealy and Moore models. Now, we move on to the last unit, that is fifth unit, which is realization of logic gates using diodes and transistors. Here, we study different logic families. That is DCTL, direct coupled transistor logic, also termed as DCTL, RTL, resistor transistor logic, also termed as RTL, DTL, diode transistor logic, also termed as DTL. These logic families we are going to learn. TTL, CML and CMOS logic families also. TTL is transistor logic. You are going to study all these logic families and also comparison of logic families to know which one is better in some of the parameters compared to others. We see comparison of logic families to know which one is better. Why this comparison? Because to know which logic family is fastest, to know which logic family consumes less power, and so on. To use that particular logic family, when required, we go for comparison of logic families. And the last topic is IC interfacing. So, these topics we are going to learn in our Unit 5. Now, you may have a doubt. Why do we need digital signals or digital electronics? Yes, compared to analog electronics, digital electronics is more popular nowadays because of their advantages. Examples of digital systems are our mobile phones. Our mobile phones with which our day starts and also day ends nowadays. Best example of digital system is our mobile phone which we use daily. Digital system design is a science of organizing information, defining operations, accepting inputs, and generating outputs using discrete quantities. In a system, there is a function that translates inputs to outputs. Digital ICs are backbone of modern electronic gadgets. Digital ICs are backbone of modern electronic gadgets. Designing of digital system involves designing of hardware as well as implementing the required software. Designing of digital system involves designing of hardware as well as implementing the required software. Hardware mainly looks into handling analog, digital or mixed signals. Hardware mainly looks into handling analog, digital or mixed signals. Information is represented by discrete values such as 0 or 1, low or high, true or false, on or off, etc. Remember, information is represented by discrete values such as 0 or 1, low or high, true or false, on or off. These signals take up only one of the two discrete signals. They take only one of the two discrete signals. So this is about analog systems versus digital systems. Next, we move on to the next slide, advantages of digital systems. Digital systems offer many advantages over analog systems. These are the advantages which I have shown here. The first one is reproducibility. As the output of digital system, unlike analog system, is independent of temperature, noise, humidity and other characteristics of component, the reproducibility of result is high in digital systems than analog systems. As the output of digital system, unlike analog system, is independent of temperature, noise, humidity and other characteristics of component, the reproducibility of result is high in digital system than analog system. The second advantage is ease of use and design. The second advantage is ease of use and design. Let us now discuss about it. The greatest advantage of digital systems is that ease of use. The design of digital system which require Boolean algebra and other digital techniques is easier than analog design. The third advantage is flexibility and functionality. The third advantage is flexibility and functionality. The function or operation of digital system can be implemented using different logic functions and can be changed according to the demand of situation. The function or operation of digital system can be implemented using different logic functions and can be changed according to the demand of situation. It has ability to adopt changes to provide flexibility to the designer. It has the ability to adopt changes to provide flexibility to the designer. Various ICs are available and they fall under various logic families. Fourth feature is programmability. Digital systems can be used for different applications by simply changing the program. Digital systems can be used for different applications by simply changing the program without any additional changes in the hardware. Without any additional changes in the hardware, we can simply change the program and we can use for different applications. We normally used hardware description languages for this purposes. Next advantage of digital system is speed. The switching speed describes how many times the inverter can change from 0 to 1 and back 1 to 0. The switching speed describes how many times the inverter can change from 0 to 1 and back from 1 to 0. Advancement in IC fabrication technology led to faster and faster switching in gigahertz to terahertz of speed. That is faster switching in gigahertz to terahertz of speed. Another advantage of digital system is cost. Another advantage of digital system is cost. The cost of hardware gets reduced by use of digital components. Remember, the cost of hardware gets reduced by use of digital components, and this has been possible due to advancement in IC fabrication technologies, and this has been possible due to advancement in IC fabrication technologies. Next advantage is size. Next advantage is size. All digital circuits are designed and manufactured in an integrated form. All the digital circuits are designed and manufactured in an integrated form. All the circuit components are placed in a single chip. Hence, the size of system is very small. See here, all the circuit components are placed in a single chip. Hence, size of system is very small. The most important advantage of digital system is that it can provide you secured transmission and processing. The most important advantage of digital system is it can provide you secured transmission and processing. Digital signals can be used for secured transmission of information using encryption and decryption techniques. Digital signals can be used for secured transmission of information using encryption and decryption techniques. Transmission at higher rate and with a wider bandwidth. So, here transmission is at higher rate and with a wider bandwidth. It is more secured. Next, the bandwidth requirement. Digital signals typically use less bandwidth. Digital signals typically use less bandwidth. This is just another way to say you can cram more information, that is your audio, video in a same space. Just to cram more information, that is your audio and video into a same space. And let's talk about last but not the least, memory capability. Memory capability. With their memory capability, digital system can be employed for computing, calculators, telecommunications, watches and other devices. So due to this memory capability, digital systems has wide range of applications. These digital systems has wide range of applications which are employed for computing, calculators, telecommunication, watches and other devices. So this is about the advantages of digital system. Next, we move on to the next slide. So these are the textbooks and reference books we are going to use. These are the textbooks and reference books we are going to use. The first textbook is Switching and Finite Automata Theory. Switching and Finite Automata Theory by Kohavi and Neeraj, 3rd edition. And the second textbook is Modern Digital Electronics by R.P. Jain, 3rd edition. Coming to the reference books, Digital Design by Maurice Mano, 4th edition. Introduction to Switching Theory and Logic Design by Peterson. And we have Switching Theory and Logic Design by Anand Kumar. So these are the few textbooks you are going to use, textbooks and reference books you are going to use for this subject, that is digital system design subject. Thank you.